start eating garbage.
Alright. Hello. Alright, so welcome back to like another another stream. That's actually surprising I managed to do like 3 days in a row. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, tonight we're gonna be doing something a little different. This is technically like another game I managed to grab like on sale for. I was looking at it for like a while. I was kind of looking forward to seeing how things go with this. So I thought that'd be because as I said originally, I played the original version of this from like God. I remember how long it's been since then. But yeah, let me set the way there. Okay. But yeah, I played the original version of this like forever ago. So I am kind of curious to see how this goes compared to like how this new version goes compared to like the original version. But I think we'll see how it goes with that. So yeah, let's But anyway, yeah, well, welcome in. You know, let us see everybody here at the end. Despite me having just streamed last night, but it's probably most we can do with that though. All right, so I think we're mostly set up there. There we go. Set up there, and we are set. Let's go.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year.
Now I gotta freaking taste off. This kind of insane.
Considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy.
Yeah,
And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. This complete isolation.
God.
Something was very clearly wrong.
It kind of feels like that, though.
Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office.
Actually, let me pause just to make sure I'm not getting interrupted again. But if I remember correctly, I think this is mostly like their remastered version, I suppose, like more HD-ish in a way, because the original game was done with the Source engine. Yeah, I think it's how it went, but we're not going to do all the details about that. Let's just get started.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. Stanley went around touching every little thing in the office, but it didn't... Oh, please. Are you really just doing this for the achievement?
Yes, I am.
Click a door 5 times. Is that all that you think an achievement is worth? No. I can't just give these merits away for such little effort. A measly 5 clicks. Now suppose you were to click the door 20 times. I would say that's the kind of effort that warrants recognition.
Although I'm willing, let's do it then.
I have to say, I'm still not feeling the
Of course, it'd be difficult about that now.
witnessing true effort for a noble cause. Perhaps 50 clicks will do it. Yes, almost certainly 50 clicks.
Now it's being difficult. So, it takes more than button presses, but hey, that was that.
No, I'm still not feeling it. I want this achievement to have meant something. It has to be a true reward for valiant effort. I want to see some hustle, Stanley. I want to see commitment, a willingness to go all the way, no matter what the cost. Why don't you go put 20 clicks into door number 417?
Okay, the problem is, where is the door anyway? That's like the question. 426, 420. How much is per price? Probably. Oh, there it is.
Oh, great. Now, go click a few times on door 437.
Careful, listen to this guy. He's kind of insane. 437. Wait, is there 437? Oh, there it is. Right there. Never mind.
Excellent. I think we're getting somewhere. Now, door 415. Let's give it 10 clicks or so.
Oh, this is gonna be crazy. 415. So 415's got to be this way. Yeah, there it is.
Now, back to door number 437.
It's fun to watch this guy is. There's definitely something though. Wait, see 43. Oh, the 47. Okay.
Let's see. How about you click on, well, I don't know, the copy machine?
It's copy machine.
All right, back to room 417. I'm really feeling it now. I think we're getting somewhere.
Send us a wild Gucci's now. I some kind of feeling about this. Something. Wait. Oh, I would have shot it.
Okay, now go climb on employee 419's desk.
How? I don't want...
Yes!
Oh,
This
there
is
you go.
great! You're putting it all on the line, Stanley. I like that. All right, let's keep it up. Go give me a few clicks on door 416.
416? Why would I listen to him?
We've almost got it! Now the copy machine, do that one again!
He's just so excited now. It's kind of fun. Copy machine.
Finish it off, Stanley! 5 clicks on door 430! Yes!
There we go.
We did it! Oh, wow. That felt amazing. Oh, you really earned it, Stanley. Nothing could hold you back. Yes, I'm very proud of how far we've come today.
Yeah, thank God for that, man.
Only a few minutes ago, you believed an achievement was worth 5 little clicks. Really now, what were you thinking?
I don't know. That's the big question about that, I think. Alright. Let's move on, actually. Alright, so... Oh, so what are we doing? I forget now.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Alright, let's do this. Let's make it interesting. We'll follow along for now. See what happens.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
I did put a lot more stuff in here. Ooh, okay. Oh, okay. Thank you for the pets. Appreciate that. I was gonna appreciate nice pets sometimes. You know that. As for the show's significant header. No, I see it there. Alright. Broom closet.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Nah. Let's spend some time here. Why not?
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow, just an empty broom closet.
But it's a fun broom closet.
Still be here.
Oh, nice. That's awesome. Hopefully that means that we will actually, start playing games with us. With
Coming to a
calendar ready.
staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Yeah, it's actually pretty exciting. I definitely can't wait to see Hubby's pop in. All right.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known.
Yeah,
was
so
that the
high
keypad
fluffy
behind
on.
the boss's desk
Not
guarded
sure
the
what that
terrible
amount of
truth
text is,
that
but
his boss had
but,
been keeping from him.
at least
And so the boss had assigned it an
welcome
extra
in.
secret pin number, 2845.
Okay,
But
2845.
Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
2, 8, 4, 5.
Yet incredibly, by simply pushing random buttons on the
Oh, keyboard badge. Okay, I
Stanley
mean
happened to
that's
input
fair.
the correct code by sheer luck. Amazing. He stepped into the newly opened passageway.
I suppose it's an interesting way to enter into the chat, I guess. But I mean it's not fair. Is it? Yeah. What I mean anyway. See, getting a PC, then maybe a Switch. Ooh, that'd be good. Honestly, I would love to see you. Oh, that's dark in here. I'd love to see you pop in with the Switch and PC and all that. Yeah, to be fair, it's I doubt it's something I would have thought of originally, but hey, I mean, you do what you have to do.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long.
Ooh, okay. Oh, the tennis organ, that's... okay.
Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
This is interesting. Okay. And button.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
I mean, it sounds like they're hard to do, so, I mean, why not? Ooh, let's see. But yeah, as I said before, that I have played through the original version of Stanley Parable, so, yeah, I mean, see, for the most part, this isn't like super different from the original version, just you know, better graphics and all that. But I mean, it's intriguing, I tell you that.
Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an
So I technically haven't played this version yet. I only described it on the Steam sale, the winter sale, so be interesting.
One of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
That place is huge, though. Oop, something got fired to see. Oh well. Man. Honestly, that it's been a while since I actually, like, you know, experienced this myself. I think, well, I don't remember if I've seen anybody recently who had actually played this version of the game before. I don't remember, honestly. It's been a while.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true.
But it did kind of make it interesting with the narrator and stuff like that.
Was the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
I think the question for that.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never.
You might not be right about that.
Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
It happens like that, maybe. We never know.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
Somehow, we just gotta, like, turn the lights on first, I think. That's what I'm assuming. Oh, God. Ooh, red button. Red button? No? Man. Red button doesn't even work. That's unfortunate for that. What do I mean? Damn, there's so much going on here. Ooh, yay. Button. Did it tell me about Yaga? I think you might have during on Saturday. I think I don't remember exactly, but I think I vaguely remember you mentioned something about Yayo. I mean, it has been a while. There's just like, you know, so much going on these past few days. I'm just sure number 3 or 4. Yeah, I remember that now. I think you did mention that to me recently.
He knew it was his duty,
he said that it's supposed to get out for free, which is nice.
Everything it stood for.
All right, and off.
Blackness and a rising chill of uncertainty. Was it over?
Probably not.
Yes. He had won.
Ooh.
He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from
Surprisingly
someone
simple.
else's command.
Okay.
Freedom was mere moments away. And yet, Even as the immense door slowly opened, Stanley reflected on how many puzzles still lay unsolved.
Well, I'll have to deal with that in the second
Co-workers
playthrough.
gone? How had he been freed from the machine's grasp?
Magic?
What other mysteries did this strange building hold?
Magic?
But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him. For it was not knowledge or even power that he had been seeking, but happiness.
I mean, I
Perhaps
can
his
go
goal
outside.
had not been to
That's the important thing
understand,
now.
But to let go.
Get them free. Third lunch
No
invite
longer
comes
would
soon.
anyone
She's
tell
anyone
him where
to
to
force
go,
her like 2 extras
what
for
to
free.
do, or how to
Ooh.
feel.
Oh, actually, that's not
Whatever
good.
life he lives,
Oh,
it
I
will
think
be
his.
his. And that was all he needed to
Oh yeah, I think I remember that
It
that
was perhaps
it was like
the
that they did
only thing worth
before like a few
Stanley
months ago maybe.
stepped through the open door.
I I like the sound of that though. I mean, didn't he force her to get it for free? I definitely complained about that. I like that.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense
I
possibility
appreciate
of
that.
a new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, that things
It's
were
this
meant to
just
happen.
reminding me so much about the fact that I still need to
was
freaking get back to playing that. God, I'm still thinking about what I'm going to do for Scott of next week, so I'm thinking I might probably squeeze that in somewhere, but I don't know, we'll see. I've just been distracted by a ton of other stuff. It's been hard to keep track of everything. Alright. I seem to remember you can do something with just hitting the buttons on these. Whatever, we'll just go on.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room.
Yeah, I mean, I
Perhaps he had
definitely
simply
appreciate
missed a
something
memo.
that's, not play RNG. Stuff be very nice. That is, good stuff. Alright.
When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Nah.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Oh, how much was that? Okay.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in.
Getting one her. Oh god, oh god. I'm not sure. I'd have to look it up.
Yes, really, really worth it.
Yeah. Honestly, I'm not sure. I have to look it up later because I don't 100% remember all the lyric characters.
Being here in the room, a room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings.
And this vending machine.
Really worth it.
I don't have money. Damn it. Come on. Give me.
At this point,
Coke.
Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on
Give me
creepy
Coke. I want
and reflected
12
poorly
drinks.
on his overall personality.
Oh god.
It's possible that this is why everyone left.
Yeah. Well, let's move on.
But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business.
Nah.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's
Alright.
incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
That's a good question for that. So they kind of interesting. Just finish this core lift. $1,000, damn. Jumping on a core lift, $5,000, and I'll probably die too. So, wee.
But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death. Good job, Stanley. Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
$5,000 free me now. Yay. Wait, crap, I owe $5,000 now. Damn it.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he
Stanley's
simply
now
missed a
dead.
memo.
Considering he jumped off the platform, he now owes a fine of $5,000. So, yeah. Anyone, Chong Yu, Beidou, Parvati, Lady Hydra, but boy. I think Hydra but boys Jincho, I already have him. Parvati. Shinier, I already have. I'm kind of tempted to go with either Sean Yoon or Yayo, honestly. Some kind of thing, or maybe Beta as well. And I mean, technically, I'm not super bad because I haven't really seen a lot of them.
Two open doors. He entered the door on his left.
I still haven't really gotten too much of the story in Leeway yet, so I haven't really seen too many of the characters from Leeway. So
this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
I mean, that's fair. I know some people have some really good constellations, some probably not as many.
Wow. Yes. This room.
Yeah, I know.
But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Alright, so let's actually go on the platform now, not jump off.
Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago.
Well, it's just being a free spirit now, so that's all I can hope for.
Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not.
Yeah, sure about that.
I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you all this time.
I'm not sure about that.
There's someone you've been neglecting, Stanley. Someone you've forgotten about. Please, stop trying to make every decision by yourself. Now, I'm not asking for me, I'm asking for her.
Who's her? That's curious.
This is it, Stanley. Your chance to redeem yourself. To put your work aside. To let her back into your life. She's been waiting.
Open. Do. I just want to smash those windows there just to mess with them. Oh man. Alright, now what? Ooh. What?
That's her, Stanley. You need to be the one to do this. To reach out to her. If you can truly place your faith in another, then pick up the phone.
Okay, still the problem is I can't leave this room, so... get here. Open up. Let me in. Or, let me out. Let me out. No. Bang, 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 bang. Alright. Alright, whatever. I'm blind.
Oh, Stanley, is that you?
Oh.
Hold on, sweetie. Sorry to keep you waiting. I'm just pulling the bread out of the oven. All right. Okay, there we go. All right, now, I want you to come in and tell me all about your day.
Gotcha.
That's what I'm there for a second.
Did you actually think you had a loving wife who'd want to commit their life to you? I'm trying to make a point here, Stanley.
God damn,
I'm trying
man.
to get you to see something. Come inside. Let me show you what's really going on here.
Later.
Sorry, but you're in my story now.
Really? Sad.
This is a very sad story about the death of a man named Stanley.
Of course, I freaking blocked my way into the bedroom with the chair. You think they would, like, just lift it up and just push it in? I guess you'd have like some room. Instead of, like, lift it up on the bed and just turn around, and then you're fine. But I guess you're lazy about this. Hi, mannequin wife. How are you? How's your day? Nice, butt, I guess. I think I need to, like, put some clothes on. Yeah, I think you want to put some clothes on, because you're weirding me out. Please. I'm gonna turn around. Not look at you anymore.
Stanley is quite a boring fellow. He has a job that demands nothing of him, and every button that he pushes is a reminder of the inconsequential nature of his existence.
I just want to get through this, as I don't want you looking at my negative wife anymore.
Look at him there, pushing buttons, doing
what happened?
exactly what he's told to do.
Oh.
Now he's pushing a button. Now he's eating lunch.
not like that.
Now he's going home. Now he's coming back to work. One might even feel sorry for him, except that he's chosen this life.
God, I'm just hoping to be able to, like, get around this freaking chair.
But in his mind, he can go on fantastic adventures. From behind his desk, Stanley dreamed of wild expeditions into the unknown, fantastic discoveries of new lands. It was wonderful. And each day that he returned to work was a reminder that none of it would ever happen to him.
I mean, sounds just sad for him.
And so he began to fantasize about his own job. First,
Everything
he
just,
imagined
like,
that one day
transported
while at
into
work,
changes,
he stepped
like,
up from his desk to realize that
this whole
all
thing.
of his co-workers, his boss, everyone in the building had suddenly vanished off the face of the earth.
So my
The thought
next life?
excited him terribly.
Okay.
So he went further. He imagined that he came to 2 open doors and that he could go through either.
This is just
At last,
depressing, honestly.
Choice. It barely even mattered what lay behind each door. The mere thought that his decisions would mean something was almost too wonderful to behold.
God, I feel that, though. Predator.
As he wandered through this fantasy world, he began to fill it with many possible paths and destinations.
What does
Down
it do
one
with this?
path lay an enormous round room with monitors and mind controls. And down another was a yellow line that weaved in many directions. And down another was a game with a baby. And he called it the Stanley Parable.
What's he with the baby? Okay, that's weird.
It was such a wonderful fantasy, and so
Can I
in
jump on
his
top
head,
here?
he relived it again,
come on,
and then
come on,
again,
come on.
and again,
No.
over and over, wishing beyond hope that it would never end, that he might always feel this free.
Except he never will.
Surely there's an answer down some new path, mustn't there be? Perhaps if he played just one more time.
God. It's just depressing, honestly. I don't. You're not, I don't want to look at it right now. Please put the clothes on. I don't need this. I'll just stand over here and just to say it. I love you.
But there is no answer. How could there possibly be? In reality, all he's doing is pushing the same buttons he always
So,
has.
I love you.
Nothing has changed. The longer he spends here, the more invested he gets. The more he forgets which life is the real one.
Alright. Go to sleep.
And I'm trying to tell him this. That in this world, he can never be anything but an observer. That as long as he remains here, he's slowly killing himself.
That's sad, though.
But he won't listen to me. He won't stop.
Oh,
Here,
okay.
watch
Okay,
this.
finally.
Stanley, the next time the screen asks you to push a button, do not do it.
Okay. Are you gonna say something about this? I'm not doing it. Nope. Nope. Okay, so we're just gonna just stand here, I guess. Actually, let me double check, make sure this is good. Yeah, everything's still working. That is good. Boom. Alright, I guess I have to hit the button. Why not?
See? Can he just not hear me? How can I tell him in a way that he'll
Wait,
understand?
I
that
was
every second
trying to
he
listen,
remains
but
here, he's
nothing
electing
happened.
to kill himself. How can I get him to see what I see? How can I make him look at himself?
Just plus nothing. Why not?
I suppose I can't. Not in the way I want him to. But I don't make the rules. I simply play to my intended purpose, the same as Stanley. We're not so different, I suppose.
Well, I mean at least
Try
I
once more to convey
got away
this
from
to
my
him.
wife.
I'm
So
compelled to.
hey,
I must. Perhaps, well, maybe this time he'll see. Maybe this time.
maybe
And I tried again.
and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried again, and Stanley pushed a button. And I tried...
What? Okay. God, man. Yeah, and honestly, that experience again is like very wild. All right, so let's go ahead and start this again here.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
It's right here on my screen. Oh well, not a big deal. Ooh, new content.
Oh, new content? What does that mean, new content?
Oh, so this is new content from new game. Ooh, I'm interested. Come into this.
Hello, and thank you for playing the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. As you may know, the Stanley Parable was a video game
2013,
released
oh
in
damn.
2013 on home computers.
Oh, I forgot it was that long.
After receiving critical and commercial success, it was expanded upon in 2022 with the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, a reimagining of the game for consoles and home computers.
Oh, I forgot this game was put on consoles too.
The
Ooh,
Stanley
okay.
Parable Ultra Deluxe features exciting new content that broadens and expands the world of the Stanley Parable, delighting audiences the world over. Please, step inside and see what thrilling new adventures await in the Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe.
Oh, well, this sounds delightful. I'm very excited to see the thrilling new Ultra Deluxe content.
Actually, what was kind of fun is that I think I remember like they announced like the Steam achievement list for this game, and I saw that like that's what the first game had like not put a game in 5 years, which is like insane. And for this one, they actually made it like they had not put a game for like 10 years, which is like, oh my god, that's crazy though. But yeah, let's move on.
Okay, so far it's an elevator. Nothing special yet, but I'm sure it's just the beginning of a mesmerizing adventure.
You know, I think that's how wild this game is. So there's like a lot.
Is it broken? What's going on here? Should we be moving somewhere?
Oh, there it is. Okay.
All right, finally, at long last, it's on to the new content. I've never been more ready. Let's do it.
It's like a slow start to the elevator. Wow. For the fourth wildest game, yeah, that is very true.
I have to say, initial impressions of Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, mostly tedious.
It's
It's
like
as if the... Oh, okay. Let's see the content.
It's like
Give
an
me the
elevator
content,
simulator.
Stanley.
I want to see content. Oh, hello.
All right.
Pretty
All
nice
right,
puppet
let's
house.
see, it's the jump circle.
Okay. I can jump. Yay! 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 I'm not trying to work. Yay! 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 I can jump and go and jump and go and jump and go and jump and go and jump and jump. Yay! 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 What'd I do? Okay. Not sure what that did, but I guess I'll take it. Ooh, what's up here?
Is that it? Surely that's not all the new content. There has to be something else, right?
Oh man. I imagine that'd be something else. I imagine this probably like a more like probably jump, maybe dog, which is nice.
Another elevator. Stanley, I have to say, initial impressions of this game are not positive. It's just elevators and jumping. Is this what passes for exciting new content?
It'd be exciting for some people.
I could just read you the whole dictionary. There's 20 hours of new content right there. Hell, I could counter 30 trillion. You could put that on the box. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe, now with over 1,000 hours of new content. And oh wait, there's more. Very good. Yes. I knew there had to be something else. Let's see it. I'm ready for whatever it is.
Yeah, let's say I'm interested, especially after the minutes jumped 30 times. Have you jumped against field? Oh yeah, I agree with you on that. Yeah, this is the only thing for that.
That's it? Oh, you've got to be kidding me. You see, Stanley? This is what happens when greedy video game developers with no respect for their fan base rush a cheap expansion to market for no reason other than to make an easy dollar. And don't get me started on the level of craftsmanship that's gone into it. In fact, I'm looking right now at the game's achievements, and it's hard to believe one of them actually says, "Test achievement, please ignore." What quality assurance department signed off on this? I'm infuriated and I'm offended, and I intend to find these people on Twitter and hold them personally accountable. It's my fault, Stanley. I built up too much anticipation around the new content.
No, I get that,
it
honestly.
Could never have lived up to such expectations. If you're still with me, why don't we just reset the game, and we'll try to get back to what the Stanley Parable is really about. No frills, no gimmicks. Just you and me having a great time together like always.
But can we still jump in the main game, though?
Friend?
Why not? 90% of people building games without you hard trapped in the map. Yeah. You don't say I agree with that. It's... Oh, this is different. Yeah, but honestly, I do super get that. You have to... If you feel very weird with not being able to jump. I mean, even if it's like
Stanley,
like the small
come
bunny,
over here in the vent. I want to show you something.
In a minute. But yeah, even if it's like a small bunny hop, and I don't think it managed like the bring to do with much with the like not being able to jump.
Oh, you don't want to see the cool surprise I made for you? Well, fine. You're a dork anyway, so who cares? Oh. Never mind, you're not a dork.
Thank you. I just thought I'm not a dork. I appreciate you, Neri, for not calling me a dork. What's this? Coffee nut? Well, okay, I guess.
Okay, you remember how cheap and unsatisfying the new Ultra Deluxe content turned out to be? Well, it got me thinking about the past, and how much better the Stanley Parable used to be. So I made something special and tucked it away here where the game's developers won't find it. Just our little secret. Take a look.
Yeah, they imagine how long it's been since like this vent's been cleaned. It's kind of wild. They imagine the amount of dust is probably in that coffee mug right now. Ooh, nothing there. Okay. Wee. Ooh. Oh. Oh, okay. Huh.
I call it the memory zone. It's where I've been storing all my favorite memories so I can relive the peak experiences of my life whenever I want. Experiences like the launch of the Stanley Parable on PC.
Without the air vent, a lot of dust. Well, true. Yes, very true. Yeah, and to imagine like half the time, like one of those people who were you did going through air vents, like when you're like, hacking up dust, and getting caught and all that. That's kind of the crazy part about that.
You see, Stanley, doesn't the memory zone remind you of how wonderful Stanley Parable was before it was sullied with a cheap re-release? Remember back in October of 2013, when the game originally launched?
2013, what a time.
Video games had integrity. Back then, it all meant something. Oh, the waste.
Back then, games cost like $25, which is like a lot for that. Sound sweets. Ooh. Oh, is that the Steam page for the first Stanley Parable? That's amazing. I have an old mug and still close to having it. I feel gross, man. What? I can't believe they actually like did a screenshot of the original page, Steam page for Stanley Parable. That's amazing, honestly. I love that. 2013. Ooh. See a lot of like old pictures. Man, 2013 was a time, honestly. This is my first trial. At least 10th April 2013. I had the memories. The original remake. Oh, okay. So, wait. Yeah, I remember because the Stanley Parable was like originally a Half-Life mod. I think it was, if I remember correctly. And then they remade it once for and they then sold that original version for like $15, I think it was. Oh, God, the sort of theme is honestly very interesting. I wish I could crouch. Good times. They're good times. It's hard to see. I wish I could zoom in. That's where it's. Ooh, yeah, nice. God, honestly, I'm just loving that they made a picture of the original Steam page for Stanley Parable. That's great. it's just something, honestly. All right. Ooh, that's a CD. That's okay. No problem. I'll be here. How's it happen? A dollar bill. Because why not? Oh, is that... Oh, a demo. Ooh. Well, that's nice. The outside... that they framed the outside achievements. Nice. I love that. And she will possibly get God, I appreciate this, honestly. First gonna be Wars, Stanley Parable. TV game. Everything released today. How much you've heard that they're all poor? Is there for some... I wonder if this is like a real copy of the New York Times. That sounds amazing. I imagine this debate thing is probably fake, but everything else, except for everything else, it seems realistic enough. I'm kind of curious. That kind of like look up, see so I'd find like the front page from the October 17, 2013 New York Times. So that sounds fun. All sorts of times. Oops, a bunch of fake dummy text. So yeah. Damn. Nice. Alright.
And over here is where I keep reviews of the Stanley Parable. Like this stunning triumph of games journalism, 10 out of 10 from Destructoid.com. James Stephanie Sterling writes, and I quote,
Nice.
"Where so many games that aspire to be more than games end up less than any form of art, Stanley Parable strives and then succeeds to be every game ever created." Did you hear that, Stanley? Every game ever created. That's how grand and all-encompassing the original Stanley Parable was. It was literally every game ever created. It was Skyrim.
God, this is some meta, honestly.
It was all of them. And now, it's nothing. It's no games at all. It isn't even the Stanley Parable anymore. It's just a husk, a lifeless husk with an hour of new elevator content.
Oh, it's elevator content. The standards are with title. HT for Square Magic with streaming time on. It's available on live. Okay. I do appreciate that they refer to James Steffi Sterling with their actual name. That is definitely very appreciative of them. Oh, there's the title screen. See. Oh, man. Hey, thank you for the raid. How's your stream go? Let me don't give you any shout outs. Sorry, but that's a little bit weird. My let's see. There we go. Use one of those. And a oh god. Sorry with my position of my computer's a little off there. God, it gets tight right now. There we go. Well, let's see. So you played some Witcher and StarCraft. Well, oh, nice. Glad to see that those doing good. Anyway, well, Ultimate. For those who know me, my name's Scoop. I'm a raccoon. I'm also with Friday streamer. But I'm mostly play a lot of like Digimon games because I'm a huge fan of the series. I usually play those on Mondays. There's I did do a mix of both the Cyber Sleuth games and Survive for the most part. But it's mostly the one series I usually keep up to. Everything else I'm not so pretty about what I play, but I tend to play a lot of like RPGs and adventure games. But yeah, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, and Saturday. Although technically I did an extra Tuesday one today, this week. But that's what I usually do. But anyway, welcome Raiders. We're playing some Stanley Parable. We're playing the Ultra Deluxe version. Actually, we're actually checking out some of the new content, I guess. I wouldn't call it new content. I think it's mostly like remembering like the old game, like a bunch of the checking out the reviews and all the I mean a lot of stuff like that. Honestly, it is very interesting so far. Like they actually they stuck an entire review from start to finish on the wall, like in the last room I think it was, and they also actually framed the two of the big achievements, like the one we had to not play the game for 5 years, and then they also put the original Steam page for game 2. It's definitely something, I tell you that. Alright. I mean, honestly, we're just experiencing this section here. It's definitely interesting. Yeah, but also if you're interested, I'm also doing a bit of a follower goal because my stream anniversary is coming up in a month and a half roughly, on February 15th, even though we're celebrating on the 13th. If I can manage to make up to 200 followers by then, I was going to play Fortnite on the 13th. So if you're still following that, go ahead. If not, it's no big deal. Because mostly I tend not to give a lot of big Friday content. If you're and there's some people have their
Here's another
devices, some
passage, this time from GameSpot.com. The Stanley Parable is both a richly stimulating commentary on the nature of choice in games and one that offers some of the most enjoyable, surprising, and rewarding choices I've ever been confronted with in a game. 9 out of 10. Don't you get it, Stanley? The game was perfect.
I mean, for
it
9
didn't
out of
need
10?
anything else. It didn't need new content. It just needed to be left alone, to spend the rest of time collecting dust in the hallowed hall of beloved video game memories.
Well, I mean, it was just HD5 more. I mean, there's always that instead of just living back in 2013. That's what we can do about though. Type of testers, ooh. That's kind of fun though. Wait. Oh god, I thought that was the audio from Skyrim for some reason. I don't know what the deal with that was.
These were simpler times, Stanley. But I wouldn't give to go back to have it all over again.
Don't we all?
Wait, hang on. I don't recall this part of the memory zone before. What's this? What's down here?
Oh. Oh.
Oh no. Oh God, no. Stanley, it's a collection of reviews from Steam.
Oh, God.
The online video game distributor. I haven't looked at these in years. I can't even imagine what's been collecting down here.
I thought that
Surely
sounds
these reviews
like a
were
mess,
glowing
though.
as well, weren't they?
I hope so, honestly. That sounds very weird. Oh, not recommended.
Honestly, I could not be bothered to play this game to full completion. The narrator is obnoxious and unfunny, with his humor and dialogue proving to be more irritating than entertaining. Unfunny! I'm not trying to be funny. I'm trying to make a serious work of art. I suppose I could write up a handful of gags to insert into the Stanley Parable, but the game is already such a densely layered web of profound philosophical insights that I can't even imagine where I'd have the room to stick them.
I mean, I see a positive right here, but unfortunately, I can't read it, which is kind of sad, honestly. God, it's like the big difference between like the actual like outlet reviews compared to like Steam reviews. It kind of says something, honestly. With how difficult some people are.
Okay, let's see what this one says. While the idea for the game is good, for someone who prefers non-linear games, this preachiness gets annoying fast. Preachy? Stanley? I'm not preachy, am I?
Not very preachy, honestly.
Honestly, you can. Oh, goodness. This is actually quite shocking for me. Well, to be honest, I had always thought of the game's dialogue as being rather terse to begin with.
I wouldn't say so.
How much fluff I cut from the game to get it to feel as light and airy as it... Well,
okay.
I always thought it did.
Recommended.
Maybe it wasn't. Oh dear. What an awful memory to have to hold on to. These black marks on my otherwise unimpeachable track record. I feel like a failure. Like I let these people down. Perhaps the Stanley Parable isn't quite as sterling as I always remembered.
Well, I mean, it's not for everybody, so to be fair. So it's not like his fault. Can't really help that much. Alright, so... Ooh, I see one other review.
You constantly have to stop doing anything so the narrator can catch up with his long-winded explanations of what's happening. I wish there was a skip button.
Ouch!
A skip button? Well, yes. Yes, I think we can do that. If I'm truly too preachy, then maybe letting you skip ahead for just a moment, surely it couldn't hurt.
I wouldn't listen to that, though.
Strike these negative reviews from the record. Only positive reviews of the Stanley Parable.
Oh,
that's my motto today, and it's always been my motto. I'd do anything for the customer, Stanley. Yes, a skip button we shall have.
That's concerning.
And here it is. Go ahead and give it a shot. I'll pop you forward in time so that the second my incessant droning starts to bore you, with just the push of a button, you'll have zipped right past it. It's what the players have been asking for, and I'm very proud to have delivered. No more listening to me rambling on and on and on. No. The Stanley Parable is a game for the people. And if the people want silence, then by goodness, that's what they're going to get. Well, don't sit around waiting for me to shut up. Go ahead and make me shut up. Here, we'll pretend that I've just begun an interminable monologue, and it goes something like this. The story and the choices are what have you, and therefore, by becoming it is. So on and so forth, until inevitably, we all until the end of time.
I think there's going to have to last for such to skip that.
Now you see, blah, 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 blah. We've eaten too much and it can't be just yet. No, until
I don't remember that actually, to match the time I put in.
Therefore becomes impossible to manufacture. It went on for nearly 10,000
years.
Okay,
I'm done.
Oh, you're back, you see. You were only frozen in time for a few minutes, but it was plenty of time for me to deliver a long, rambling monologue full of unnecessary verbal flourishes and lengthy ruminations on the nature of choice in video games.
And you didn't want to listen to it, though.
I happen to believe it was perhaps one of my more profound such ruminations. Not that, of course, you need a description of it, but if Well, there, sport. You really did catch me rambling on a bit, didn't you?
Skip.
But that's the power of the button.
I suppose
The
there's more
minute
of
I
it.
start to go off on a thoughtless display
that's
of
unfortunate.
self-absorption, it's
All right.
right at your fingertips to go poof, and it's all over. Oh, I can't wait to see what Cookie 9 will say about this, and whether they'll edit the rating of their Steam review, or at least change some of the wording, perhaps. To be honest,
Oh, do you
I
actually
don't
edit
even know if
reviews?
one can change their review in the first place.
I don't know either.
I guess I should
I'm
become
interested.
better educated on exactly how Steam works. Perhaps that would have been the smart thing to check on before I went about this whole exercise of making the skip button.
I'm just talking how
I
far.
have to imagine that after seeing this
Skip.
Okay, welcome back, Stanley. Now, I should say that the amount of time the button has been skipping through is becoming longer and longer. That last one was, well, I want to say maybe 30, 45 minutes.
Really?
It's not unendurable by any means, but it's, well, there's really only so much I can ramble on to myself about. I know, it's shocking, isn't it? But at any rate, I do suggest that we not press the button again. I think the skip button has been aptly demonstrated, and we can say goodbye to it and just... Wait, how do we get out of here? Where did the door go? Wasn't there a door that led into this room?
Oh, that's a problem.
I do feel quite certain that there was one here before. How else would we have gotten into the room in the first place?
That is a problem.
I don't think one can enter a room without a door of some sort, or a window, or something like that. Do you see
I
a
think must
window
disappear
anywhere?
on us.
A porthole? A sufficiently large crack in the wall?
I
I'll
mean,
take
this
any
event
reason.
here.
All I want is for us to move on and to please step away from the skip button, to go anywhere other than the skip button. There was a door here before, wasn't there? I swear
yes.
there was. Where did it go? Can you maybe just ram your way through a wall?
That I wish,
Is there
honestly.
any possibility that you could, say, slam your body into the wall until enough damage is done for you to be able to leave?
In
Please,
fact,
I'll take any option at all.
I mean, if I
I'm
could
asking you
sprint,
to work with
honestly,
me here.
by work.
We need a door. We need a door of some kind. I can work with any kind of door as long as it can open and lead from...
Skip.
Stanley, please don't push the button again. It's been 12 hours. You've just been frozen there. I don't know why the skips are getting longer, but they're really,
Skip.
truly... Oh, Stanley. You're back.
What the hell's been now?
I have someone to talk to again. Stanley, I
Ooh,
think
okay.
it's been a week.
Oh god, is it?
Weeks.
It's died.
I've been sitting here all that time. Just sitting here. Not a single person to speak with. And you'd think that that's just how it's always been, right? Me talking and you saying nothing.
Well, that's how you still think.
It's exactly the same as always. Doesn't that feel like what we've already been doing? Me just talking?
Skip. He just keeps talking.
Hello, it's you. You're here again. Welcome. I have had time to think about
What's
you
going on with
and
that?
about us and
Oh,
about
God.
everything we've been through. I've had so much time.
How long's it
I
been,
stopped
though?
keeping track after a year.
Oh, God, it's
Have
been
you
over a
ever
year.
sat down in one place and not moved for one entire year.
Probably
Let me
dead, though.
describe it for you. To begin with, there is only regret. There is only the turning wheel of missed opportunities. I felt nothing at all but regret for the longest time, Stanley. Days, months. I lost it all in a blur of the deepest longing to undo the past. And when that feeling had begun to subside, what took its
Sorry, I think
place
it's that
was
noise
what
right
I
there.
can only describe as the collapse of every moment I
Skip.
have
Hello? Hello? Oh, is he dead? Did he die? Hello? Well, let's do his name. Skip. What? Oh, God. I think the stomach alarm's going off. I'm saying that's like the worst noise. Skip.
But they didn't understand the game was never meant to be funny. It was meant to have a point. It was meant to speak to the human condition. But where are the jokes? Where are the jokes? They bemoaned, they screamed, they gnashed their teeth and said, entertain us. It wasn't enough. They had to leave a pathetic little thumbs-down review and make all of their pitiful demands. But then, he's talking too much, they said. First, he didn't entertain us, now he won't shut up. It's the inconsistency, it's the lack of accountability. It's the unwillingness to examine with an uncompromising heart the words
Okay,
that
I'm
they
done,
are
Skip.
speaking into...
He's just yelling all the time now. Oh, God. Dude, I still keep doing it for a while now. I still didn't like, just keep traveling forward in time, just for no reason now. Alright. Skip.
The end is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
What is going on?
End is never the end, is never the end, is never the end, is never the end.
Skip. God, this is... I'm thinking he's like regretting making this skip button now, honestly. Is it everything just going like off the rails? Is there anything... Is it rain? Oh my God, I think they were starting to leak. Ah, I hate that. Skip. That where's this been? Dear Lord, man. Yeah, they would even get behind there now, so... Skip. Ooh. Oh God, it's finally... It's finally, like, light out, somehow. Oh. Oh God, please don't put that. I need that. Oh, thank God. Would have been unfortunate if I got stuck there. Skip. Ooh. Well, that's kind of fun. They're just stuck in there forever to just having to skip repeatedly now. Skip. Aw. Ah, that's unfortunate. What did we do in here, though? Skip. How does this go? Alright. And... Skip. Oof. Oh. Oh, we got run the outs. Yay. Oh my God, this is different. We actually could leave this freaking building somehow. Huh. How long have we been gone? What the hell, man? I'm just like walking rain. Oh. Okay. Oh, there we go. Okay. Huh. That was definitely something. Alright.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted. No matter how hard Stanley looked, he couldn't find a trace of his co-workers.
Oh, well, I can do that, okay. Oh, thank God. Okay, let's see. I wish I could do that. Now that I should figure it out. Alright, so... Inputs received. What is it gonna do with that though? Yeah, whatever. We'll just move on. I mean, sure, why not?
Oh, good. You notice my sign. Yes, I have something very exciting to show you.
Let's deal with it then. Why not? I mean, I always happy about new content. So I can go for. So we skip that. That's good.
You see, Stanley, I've been reflecting on the Stanley Parable and about how roundly disappointing this ultra-deluxe version has turned out to be. The original Stanley Parable was a landmark, and any new content for it should live up to that legacy.
I would hope so.
Get this ultra-deluxe nonsense?
I say we take it
done.
one step even further.
Well,
Which
I'm looking
is
at something
why
dark now.
I'm very proud to announce for the first time ever, the Stanley Parable 2.
A sequel? What?
Yes, you see, isn't this far superior to a measly re-release with a few minor additions? Think of all the new territory we'll cover with a fully fledged sequel. An entirely new experience, built from the ground up. Why, there are so many possibilities. It could go in so many different directions. This is what fans have truly been asking for.
God, honestly, that'd be fun, though. I would like that. It'd be kind of fun if they actually did one of
Calling it
these.
the Stanley Parable 2 is just so much catchier than Ultra Deluxe,
So
don't
do
you
you-
think? Ultra Deluxe? What does it even mean?
Taste the
But the
sequel.
Stanley Parable 2. Now
What's the sequel
that's
taste
an
like?
artistic statement right there.
I want the sequel.
Oriented. It screams progress and innovation and long-term franchising potential.
It's a big question, like, what does the sequel taste like? Well, I have no money. I can't, like, you know, did a can of this. I actually know nothing about that. Yeah, whatever. Just tapping everything now. New content is out, content. How does that apply? Huh. One of us in new hotness course card. Oh, I seem to sound as it's going now. Two doors. The most important part of this freaking game. The two doors. It starts everything there. More TSP, better TSP, win-win. So all these like big words. I don't think we understand that. It's like I kind of need to like think about it more. These be two local ideas. What is this? Is it Photoshop? That is. I mean, it sounds something like that. Wow. This is like an experience, man.
Now, to be clear, I haven't quite nailed down what exactly the Stanley Parable 2 is going to be, but let's take a look at some of the features I've been developing for it. I figure that if I can loosely organize a handful of interesting concepts, that surely the game will sort of naturally spring up around them. It'll all work itself out. Game development is much more of a fuzzy magic than anything scientific or logical, really.
I'm not sure the way to think of it, but, you know, go off. Let's see, let's trying to think a sequel will work. It's something that's like that. Ooh, that's fun. Get a nice little audience going. Got new content. Ooh. And I love how being distracted by those new content and having to play the main game. That's kind of insane. Ooh.
Here we are. Go on, try out some of the new features.
But it says the name of the player that's playing. Really? Huh. I like the sound of this. Alright, let's see if this works.
For the Stanley Parable 2, I asked myself, what do players really want? And of course, the first and most obvious answer is that they want to be individually recognized and validated as people. So with that in mind, my first addition to the game is this button which speaks the name of the person playing the game. Isn't that wonderful?
I'm gonna guess so. Nope. I think this is just a fake button. It's not the actual button. Alright, let's see if this works.
Jim,
Sorry, I should have clarified. Right now, the button only says the name Jim. But of course, in the final game, this button will say your name, whatever name that is. Here, let's have you role-play as Jim to really simulate the full experience of this feature. Just play along. I promise you'll love it. Okay, here we go. Let's take a deep breath, clear your mind, forget whoever you are, and simply become a person named Jim. I want...
You know, actually, that reminds me of, like, I was just playing Coliseum yesterday, and I think I remember, like there was in the techno store, there's like the corporate cut, I think it was. I think it's called Techno Gym, actually, so it kind of fits together, honestly. It's kind of awesome.
I want you to imagine yourself living as Jim, sleeping and waking as Jim, falling in love and being heartbroken as Jim, seizing all of the world's possibilities as Jim, and as Jim watching your dreams crumble into dust. Do you feel it deeply? Are you really, truly Jim right now?
I am
If
Jim.
So, then please step forward and press the button.
I think I know it. I think I am Jim.
Yes, you see? What a thrill, what a rush. That was you. The button described you. Do it again, do it again.
Am I Jim?
Jim.
Yes.
It hits
I'm
even
Jim.
harder the second time. If this were the only new feature in the Stanley Parable 2, it would still be worth the money.
I mean, I guess
Let's
so.
take a break from the Jim button. I'm too emotionally drained from all of this personal validation.
Jim.
Whoa there, cowboy. Sometimes a person can be too much Jim.
Are you sure about that?
I'm putting the Jim button away. Otherwise, soon you'll start to lose all sense of who you actually are.
It actually happened. Wow. Oh, this game. This game is something so far.
I suppose I could allow only people named Jim to play the Stanley Parable 2. That would actually save me the work of finishing this feature.
Well, the only problem is that it kind of limit the player base, so, yeah. Wait, did it? Home office. Oh, wait, hang on. So let's cheat here. So, screenshots. Where's a new orange? Take one. It did the Shinier. Oh god, it's noise. Okay. Previous con. Ray tracing. That episode thought that'd be something bad. If you just want to do ideas, take a screenshot. There we go. There we go. Single players playing game jumps. Remember this freaking jump circle? Alright, let's do this. Why not? God, this is experience, man. Oh, so it's actually Parable 2. I'll receive when you achieve a number of steps. I mean, let's go with it. Why not?
Now, here's something special. You remember that broken test achievement that got left in the game on accident? Well, I'm developing a technology to simply give you the achievement. Yes. You see, you'll come to this lever, and when you pull it, the achievement will be given to you. It's
Yay.
as simple as that.
Yay. Achievement. Let's go.
Okay, perhaps I should have clarified. This is technology that will exist. Right now, the achievement is still fully broken.
How can something
Not a
still broken, man?
wizard's but I guarantee it will be fixed in the sequel to at last satisfy the hordes of ravenous fans all over the world who have been uproariously demanding this feature.
Searching for the
Gamers,
list.
we hear you, and I promise it will happen.
Eventually. Man, that's annoying. Alright, whatever. We're just gonna move on. I thought it'd be nice to if that actually happened like that. Unfortunately, I have to wait for the sequel, like whenever that happens. Man.
What else? What other exhibits haven't we seen yet?
And I just love how it says, it just works. That's the most like Todd kind of Todd Howard kind of thing would say. Ooh, this is fun.
Collectibles. Now it's a real video game. In the Stanley Parable 2, you'll run around gathering up these miniature Stanley figurines. And what's truly innovative is that there will be no reward for collecting all of them. I don't want to stifle the intrinsic joy
not even
of
an
watching a
achievement?
number go up. You simply collect all of them, and then you move the hell on with your unremarkable life.
The scholarly figure of Stanley. Ooh. Okay. That works.
God, it really is the worst when you collect everything in a video game and then they give you a big fancy reward for it. Absolutely tragic.
Jump on circle this. You're here, so. Alright, so I'm assuming it's just this way. What else can we do with this? Wow. Oh, it's the jump circle. Okay.
You know what? Let's bring the jump circle back for Stanley Parable 2 as well. It's a... Oh, wait. You already spent all your jumps the first time we saw the jump circle. Oh, well. I suppose it can just be a nice decorative piece, then.
You know, the best like the other players who have like some jumps. I can jump though. Damn. That sucks. Alright, let's check out this infinite hole. See what's up with that. No screenshots. Hopefully it's like, you know, somewhat infinite.
Stanley, here's an idea that I'm truly fond of. It's never been done before in a video game. This is, in fact, a hole that you can fall down forever. That's right. Infinite falling. You can fall until the end of time, if you like. A stunning leap forward for video games as a medium.
Don't go down it though? That's the big question. Pretty sure that's one doing a fall down an infinite hole, so let's do it. Yeet.
You see, isn't it wonderful? One of my more ingenious concoctions, if I do say so. Now then, since you've gotten to see the infinite hole, you can press the teleport button to pop back up to the top, and we can continue onward.
Let's hang on for a bit. If it was like, you know, why not?
Now, I don't mean to be a bummer, but I do recommend you use the teleport button to go back to the top. Maybe do it on the sooner rather than later spectrum of things.
Maybe later. We'll wait a bit on it, I think.
Okay, Stanley. I don't know quite how to say this tactfully, but it's possible that I slightly exaggerated the infinite nature of the hole. Is it a very, very deep hole? Pretty certain it is. It's an extremely deep hole. I don't want
It's
anyone
so
to say
deep you don't even know
it
about
isn't an
this.
astonishingly deep hole. It is. Is it infinite? Well, that sort of depends on your definition of infinity. From one perspective, the infinite is merely philosophical in nature. It's more of a... Okay, well, good for you. You found the bottom of the hole. You found me out, Stanley. I'm a liar and a cheat, and you're so clever. Look, I think the issue here is just that you're unusually fascinated by falling. What normal person actually wants
That's a
to
new
fall
bug.
infinitely? I figured the hole was as deep
I'm
as
sure someone
anyone would
would.
actually need. Don't you put this on me. Maybe you're the problem.
Media 2 point.
Look, things got a little heated there. I think
Okay.
we both said some things we didn't mean. Why don't we just put all this behind us and agree to just call the whole mostly infinite?
It's infinite-ish.
Works for you?
I mean,
Then
yeah,
go
that
ahead and
works.
press the teleport button to warp up to the top of the hole and we can move on. I'll just be up here when you're ready.
I just think that it's like, oh, that's mostly infinite. So we can still somehow, like, you know, not die. And yet, if we just jump out that ledge, like back in the factory in the main game, if we died. So Yeah.
Great. Now, I'm very excited to show you even more of my ideas for the sequel.
And let's jump in the hole again.
Oh, for heaven. You see? I was right. The problem is you. The problem is that you like holes too much. Not normal.
That's what she said.
A normal person would have said, yep, that's an infinite hole right there. Goes on forever till the end of time. Don't need to see it all, but not you. Oh, no, 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 no. You have a weird sort of... Oh. Did the hole seem even shorter to you this time? I couldn't help but feel like you spent a little less time in there than you did before. I mean...
But I think it kind of depends on, like,
make an infinite hole.
like, sounds to talk.
That not infinite. Well, I suppose once again there's nothing to do here. If you decide you've had enough of the hole, you can hit the teleport button and come join me on the path.
Yeah, let's go.
Had enough? I'm positively thrilled.
I haven't.
I really do have so much. Gosh, how could I have guessed? You're back in the hole. If this starts to become a thing,
What?
wow. Okay. Yeah. I'm starting to become extremely certain that the hole is not only not infinite, but that it's growing steadily less and less infinite.
It almost feels like negative
It's starting
infinite.
to hit the point where it's no longer feasible to call the hole infinitely deep, even by the lax overall standards for accountability and marketing. What's
Oh,
going
I
on
didn't see
here?
it at the top there. Wow.
Stanley, I have no explanation for the uncertain nature of the hole's length. Here, let's try something. Let's pop back up to the top, and we'll see if it gets any shorter.
This is interesting, though.
Well, there it is. The shame
Oh.
of my lie has come to haunt me.
Oh,
Not only
okay.
is the hole not infinite, but it's barely even a hole at this point. It's more of a concavity, or even a very
Huh.
aggressive divot.
That's interesting. I kind of like the idea of that, though.
How is this still appealing to you? I know you're obsessed with holes, but at this depth, I just can't see this scratching the itch. Oh, who am I to judge? You just do whatever it is you're here to do and hit the teleport button when you're ready to move on.
Okay. Oh, the
Is the,
silver button.
Teleport button not working? You sure?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I really don't have an explanation. It was working just a moment ago. Try it again.
Nope. Nope.
Still nothing? Well, I suppose there is one thing I can do to fix this. I'm out. Goodbye, Stanley. You couldn't bear to be away from the hole, and now you'll get more time with it than you could ever have asked for. It's a win for everyone. You get to be with the hole, I get to do literally anything else.
You're dishing me?
Take care, Stanley. I hope you and the hole have a wonderful rest of eternity together.
Okay. If I could jump. Help? Help? I can't jump. If only I can, like, you know, lift my feet. That'd be, like, awesome. Okay. Oh, what? What's going on? Oh, God, are we going down? I've... Okay. I don't think about this anymore right now. And now it is very dark. I cannot see. Oh, okay. So at least we can see the. What? What is going on? What is going on right now? Everything just falling apart in front of us now. Help! Help! What is going on? I don't see right now. I'm upside down now. Oh god. Oh god.
Stanley! Oh good, you're awake. It seems you had sort of dozed off there, drifting away into dreamland. But we can't have that, Stanley, because this hole is just so darn fascinating that I want you to be wide awake for every second of it. You don't want to miss a single moment. So how about if I just pop in from time to time and wake you up to keep you really truly focused on the hole? From the looks of things, you and I will have many, many years here in this hole, and I'm looking forward to all of them.
Okay.
Stay alert, Stanley. I'll be back. Toodle-pip.
I thought it seemed too long, I think. Okay, we're going down again. I'm worried. Okay. Okay.
Here we are. Go on. Try out some of the new features.
Okay, I'm just registering right now. that was something. My god. Oh, jeez. I didn't know what to say about that anymore. Oh, god. Sorry, I just need to set up black myself. Alright, 2 seconds to get like hydrates more. Okay, I'm here. Oh man. God, that was like a lot. Alright, anyway, let's move on. We'll get something out of this. Actually, kind of surprised there's still a lot of stuff here left. Did we have like the stuff we haven't done yet? I guess. Been hauled did already. Exit. Oh yeah, so we don't there to the end. Alright, so we haven't. Ooh, let's see what the merch stuff's like. So we got. Saw the new. Ah, that'd be nice to do that, honestly. Ooh, actually. Actually, give me a second. I want to see if this pure card works. We put for 1 second. Oh, get out of the way. Because there's actually a website for this. That is amazing. And we sort of Stanley Parable. Test sequels, New Hexball 2. Oh my god. They put so much stuff in this. It's actually kind of awesome. Yeah, the funny thing is that actually works, which is like insane. Alright, so mostly infinite hole. Oh, it's mostly infinite, okay. See, I should change it up a bit.
Okay, I'll be honest, I haven't yet decided on this one. I think that in the new version, the office could use a bit of decoration, like balloons. But I'm undecided on Get Well Someday and Happy 12th Birthday. Which would you go with?
Happy 12th birthday's Stepney's? I'm not sure how that applies, but okay. Get well someday.
You know, sometimes when you solicit another person's opinion, it makes you realize that you knew which one you actually really wanted all along.
Oh, so you're doing the 12th birthday one?
12th birthday step-niece it is.
Okay.
Or actually, maybe I should have gone with... No. No, I've made my decision. We're moving on.
Oh, okay. That's it there. So that goes to the hole at the end. Use my charms. What else did I not do yet? Oh, wait. I think I still need to check out the reassurance bucket, see what that's about. Yeah, that works.
A common complaint of the Stanley Parable was that it was confusing and paradoxical, that it engendered a chaotic sense of reckless despair in those who played it. Well, I'm happy to say that after much consideration, I've engineered a clever solution to this fundamental problem with the game. It's the Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket.
Oh, there it is. Okay. I was wondering what it was for a second.
Anytime you're holding the bucket, a sense of calm and ease will fill your mind and your heart. It's true. As long as you hold on to the bucket, the many disorienting contradictions of the Stanley Parable will feel perfectly normal and perhaps even comforting. You may even come to long for the gentle embrace of jarring cognitive dissonance while the bucket is in your arms. And to be honest, it's a much more convenient solution for me than actually redesigning the game to be less uncomfortable. Can you imagine what a pain in the ass that would be? Yes,
I mean, true.
the bucket is the perfect solution. Come on, give it a try.
Okay. Let's go.
Can you feel it? The glow of comfort, even in the face
Bucket.
of crushing despair, must
I have a
already be
bucket.
sweeping through your body. And in fact, can I say that I do believe the bucket lends you an air of charisma as well? I think that just holding it has made you the slightest bit more attractive as a person.
I'm not sure that applies, but
The
hey.
benefits of the bucket seem to go on and on, don't they? All this and more
wait.
await you in the Stanley Parable 2.
Alright. Let's take it back with us. I mean, I'm feeling calmer already. See if that works.
Does anyone give out awards for most enjoyable bucket in a video game?
I'm sure somebody
There
has.
really should be an award if it isn't already.
First bucket, bonus system with the very opening game. Ooh, okay. Yeah. Alright, I think we covered everything here, so let's do the exit. Alright. Exit. What is it? Oh yeah, there's exit. And we take the bucket with us. Yay, free bucket. I'll go with that. I have my bucket friend. That's all I need.
Have you seen everything you wanted to? Ready to move on now?
Oh yeah, sure. I have my bucket friend. That's all I need. Yeah.
So, Stanley, what do you think? Do you like all of the new features? Yes, I know it's not exactly clear yet how exactly these features will come together as one single coherent video game, but I can feel it in my soul. It's going to work.
Somehow.
There's definitely a good game in there somewhere. Say, let's do an experiment. I'll arrange these new features together, and we'll see whether or not it coheres into a meaningful gameplay experience. Okay. Are you ready? Here it is. I give you the Stanley Parable 2.
Oh. Okay.
Well, I mean, there's potential here, right? It's sort of... Okay, never mind.
I see the hole down there. I
Hold
see
on.
the
Let me do a different arrangement.
jump circle.
Yes, this is much better. I feel good about this. Here we go. Version 2. Who am I kidding, Stanley?
Okay.
This isn't a coherent video game at all. It's a lot of gags. And I do very much enjoy creating gags, but they don't add up to anything.
Yeah, it's like a freaking
I
achievement.
wanted more than anything to create a sequel that would
That's
capture
ridiculous,
all
though.
the magic of the first game. I wanted fans to love it. No matter how good these gags are, they won't stand on their own. They would need the structure and the gameplay of the original. Wait, maybe that's it. I can take the original Stanley Parable and simply, well, insert a few of my new features in.
If you can just throw my bucket at them, I
With
kind of want to do that right now.
With care for the vision and integrity of the original game. Would it possibly work?
Sure,
I
why not?
suppose it could.
Why not?
But it would need a really, really tremendous title screen. A title screen that says with bold and uncompromising conviction, "This is the Stanley Parable 2. Let me see if I can whip something up. All right, perfect. Go ahead. Take a look.
Oh. Oh, so it's actually like doing this. Huh. Alright. Alright, let's be in the game. Why not?
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
At least found out brother Bruce what he's doing
Stanley
now.
worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time.
I thought it
As he came to his
it's like
wits
the
and
edge of his
regained
table's like
senses,
you
got up
can
from
kind of
his
see
desk
sand at the edge of
and
his table
stepped
there.
out of his office.
Yeah, the edge of his table's like not holding it very well. But actually, shoot, I really feels like I should change my title. Is that we're doing a different game now? Ooh, come on. Parable 2. Yeah, this will be fun. Let's go. There we go. So it's they're not actually prepared to doing that. Alright. Alright, let's go. See how this is different compared to like the first game.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Just the important thing is that, you know, it's my stepniece's 12th birthday now, so let's go with it then. Oh, bucket.
Stanley picked up the bucket.
Bucket friend. That's the important part about this. I have a bucket friend, that's all I need. And it's kind of good at how to bucket, love the bucket, you know, be the bucket. Bucket is love, bucket is life. Let's go.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Okay.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
Sorry, it's worth explaining more to get. No, I feel this slide. It's, you know, it speaks to me in a way, especially with my job.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
Let's see what's downstairs. I haven't done that yet. Why not?
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss, admitting he had left his post during work hours. He might be fired for that.
Yeah.
And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then, something occurred to Stanley. Maybe
He thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. He looked down at the bucket in his arms.
Am I crazy, Bucket-chan?
He asked the bucket. The bucket returned his gaze, but said nothing at all. That's strange, Stanley thought. Usually the bucket is a source of guidance and wisdom for me in difficult times such as these. He held the bucket close, yet felt none of its familiar reassurance and comfort.
That's unfortunate.
And that's when Stanley realized, this isn't my bucket. It's just a normal, everyday bucket. Someone else's
It's not the
bucket.
bucket.
How did I end up with someone else's bucket? This is all terribly wrong. Surely no good would come from this. Who knows what sorts of bizarre hallucinations Stanley might experience without the psychologically grounding presence of his bucket. And indeed, now he noticed that the rooms were repeating, which was of course very odd. And now he felt himself floating off the ground.
Wait, I'm...
Oh, gracious.
Oh, what?
He exclaimed. Without
What?
my bucket, I've gone truly mad. Where is it? I must find it. Far
Help?
off in the distance now, he heard it, calling to him.
Help?
Stanley! Stanley, it's me! The bucket!
What is going on?
Could it truly be? He rushed forward from room to room, passing by one bucket after the next. None of them were his. None of them were his special
It's
bucket.
kind of bugs now.
Come to me, Stanley. Find me. He had to find the bucket. He had to return to his old friend. It was the only way to truly restore his sanity. And then suddenly, he froze dead in his tracks. He knew where the voice of the bucket had been coming from. The real bucket was inside of him all along.
That's
It
amazing.
was incredibly painful.
I love that.
Stanley doubled over in agony and blacked out.
Oh, man.
This is the story of a woman named Mariella. Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, picked up her bucket of comfort and security, and walked to her place of work. But on this particular day, her walk was interrupted by the body of a man
Oh, so that's
who
the
had
picture.
stumbled through town, talking and screaming to himself, and then collapsed dead on the sidewalk. Right away, she knew what the problem was. This man had no bucket.
Oh, she had a bucket,
Of
then.
course, he'd gone mad, ranting and raving about a narrator describing all of his actions and how everything is predetermined and free will is an illusion and it's all just a video game. It could all have been prevented if only he'd taken his bucket with him. Perhaps he didn't even realize
Yeah, if
he'd
only.
forgotten his bucket at home in the first place. How cruel the world can be, Mariella thought, and she hugged her own bucket even tighter. But of course, she had no time for this. There were a myriad of confusing problems she would soon have to confront at work, for which her bucket would provide absolute guidance and total clarity on everything. Heck yes, she thought to herself, my life kicks ass. And she backflipped all the way to work.
Wait, really? That's amazing, honestly. Oh, jeez. Okay. I sure back here, so...
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
I'm in time board now? That's concerning. I did not sure to say about that now. But we have Bucket-chan.
Stanley lifted the bucket into his arms, and a wave of comfort rushed over him.
Bucket-chan. I'm back. My friend. I'll never leave you. So get over.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Alright, let's go. My friend.
Still no one was here. Stanley needed the bucket's warmth and comfort now more than ever. Perhaps his boss's office was where he'd find answers.
It'd be nice if we had to put the bucket in my head. That'd be kind of fun. Let's hang on here at the broom closet with the buckets.
Can you feel it? The broom closet. It wants the bucket. You can feel that, can't you? The aura of jealousy. It's as clear as day. This broom closet believes it deserves the bucket. I can really feel it now. It's a bucket. It belongs in a broom closet. That's what the broom closet is trying to say here.
Yeah.
It's supposed to go with the other cleaning supplies. Good for you, Stanley. Don't give in. Don't hand over the bucket. I know how hard it must be. Given the pressure that the broom closet is putting on your shoulders right now,
pretty sure we can't even give it away anyway. So,
and lifelong friend. You can't hand it over. Oh, no.
You're
I'm
leaving.
getting into name calling now, it seems. Is this how low the broom closet has sunk that it has to resort to this stream of petty insults simply in order to get you to hand over the bucket? Stanley, I never liked this broom closet for a variety of reasons. But even
That's stuff. I'm leaving.
and we're coming to a staircase.
We're good.
Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
It's like you just got so much to say about the freaking bucket, man. It's kind of wild. All right, so take a bathroom. The room nice eventually like that reflects. Ooh,
We found one of them. One of the miniature Stanley figurines. Remember, no reward for collecting all of these, only the intrinsic pleasure of a job well done.
I don't know
That sort of happiness, Stanley. God knows I've tried. So, I implore you to savor each and every moment you come across one of these beautiful figurines.
All right. To purchase is a crime, to commit crimes wasn't it rich? What a life would be just to pick just one. That's deep, honestly. It's pretty deep. I enjoyed that though. Close that down. I want to make sure it doesn't mess up. Alright. Ooh. Get in here. Nothing? Elevator, ooh. Where does this go? I'm curious. Those seem to be distractions sometimes, honestly. Dancing bucket friend. Sorry for those who get a bunch of sickness, but we're having fun here. How long is this going, man? Okay, yeah. I think it'll just do for that, so I'll stop. What is this? Okay. I think she's done for a while now. Wait. What? Are we back here now? What if we even moved something for now? Wow. Maybe there'll be something like going up, maybe? Yeah, no problem. Thank you for stopping by the movie. Have a good night. Yeah, my product might be on for too much longer either, honestly. So. Yeah, I think I might probably do with one more run, finish this one off, I guess. Alright, let's go.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire, if not for the soothing presence of the bucket.
Think about the bucket here.
In his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
Just relaxing for a bit. Just, having fun with my friend Bucket. So I can go for.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless, since he could never possibly know that the combination was 2845. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it the Bucket knew all along?
Oh god, it's dark.
Was the Bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Ooh.
Another miniature Stanley figurine. This, there really must be a snappier name for these things. What about mini-stands? Stanley figures.
That'd be fun.
What about Stanlerines? Yes, I think I like that. Another Stanlerine under your belt.
Ah, man. God, this is, something, honestly.
The elevator raced downward, plummeting towards an unknown fate. It would be all Stanley could do to keep himself together, if not for the Bucket. Soothing him, comforting him, reassuring that in this darkest moment of uncertainty, he would be all right. The Bucket is here for you, Stanley. Everything will be fine.
I love you, Bucket friend. I'll be with you forever and ever and ever and ever. Oh, God, okay.
Stanley and the Bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
Yeah, let's not do that.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley and the Bucket would both meet a violent death.
Is there a line about that? I mean, I hope not.
The door behind them was not shut. Stanley and the Bucket still had every opportunity to turn around and get back on track.
Actually, yeah, they will do that. I'm tempted, but I think he's probably not lying about this. So yeah, we'll go back, follow story somehow. Okay.
But of course, Stanley and the Bucket thought better of it and realized they simply had too much to live for.
Right. Push.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens.
Okay.
What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the Bucket both wondered to themselves.
I will hold you tightly, Bucket. So I can think about. Alright, so... cameras.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the Bucket in shock.
You can still hold the Bucket.
Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The Bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears.
Oh, everything's gonna be okay,
Stanley
Bucket.
cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
Okay.
Was the Bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well?
No, the Bucket's
Had
too smart
the
for
Bucket
that.
been told to do things it didn't wish to do?
I'm not sure, Liz, but
What kinds of
yeah.
things does a Bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the Bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never! He squeezed the Bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the Bucket.
My best friend, Bucket.
But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past
Maybe I'll turn
began
the
to
power
sink
of
in,
this.
Stanley decided
curious
that
now.
this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system.
Let's take down the system, Stanley. Everything's gonna be just fine. 5. Oh, actually, I don't remember that there being like other buttons I could hit here. So 3. I just get 3. Where else? Where else? Is there 1, 2? Was there 4? I bet there's a 4. I see 1, 2, 3, and 5. So what's am I missing though? Oh, whatever. I'm getting distracted. Let's just go with this. All right. All right.
When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for.
Push.
But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust.
But he couldn't do it.
An image appeared upon the enormous screen.
Seagulls.
Silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Wait, what? Button. Wait,
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all.
It's just something different. Wow.
It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hand.
Owls.
The one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery.
The most silly birds,
Stanley and the
owls.
bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable.
That was definitely silly.
All the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And Stanley was happy.
Oh, let me get the more of these. Ooh, yay. That was good. Okay. Actually, You know, actually, I was considering ending here, but let's do one more run. I'm kind of interested.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
All right, Bucket-chan, come
The
on.
confusion and the chaos all seemed to melt away as Stanley embraced the bucket.
All right. This is the important thing. Well, I was gonna bring the bucket along. Our best friend, Bucket.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Let's not.
This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
Yeah, they definitely like the way they changed things up with this. It's fun.
And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley thought to himself. Yes, perhaps it truly was.
But unfortunately, I still have that money
insightful
to
the bucket
get
turned
a
out
cold
to be.
drink, so that's unfortunate.
No, never mind. The bucket was wrong.
The bucket's never wrong.
Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
All right. Wait, did I already? Did I get the direction? I don't remember now. It's been a while since I actually first did that, so I know I definitely jumped off and then I went that way direction. Yeah, let's go this way.
And so the two of them detoured through the maintenance section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door.
Oh, let's see what this is about. So I was the big red buttons, keep distracted.
Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
Hello.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this
hello, baby.
bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Classic characters from the first game, like the Adventure Line and the Broom Closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the Adventure Line? We could make the Adventure Line go somewhere new. Yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
I want to hide a closet. I don't want to follow the Adventure Line. I want to spend time here with me and Bucket. My best friend Bucket. I need death. Please. Don't make me go. Don't make me go. Hello? Oh, no. Don't do that. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's go. Alright, let's see what's going on with this.
Whee! Look at that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Wait, it did? Oh, okay. What's going on?
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue? Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers. It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this. But if we want to do that, you're going to have to give something up.
Remember we get intervention with Bucket? That's kind of insane, honestly. Alright. They'll figure out somehow, though. Oh, hello. This is interesting.
Don't you get it, Stanley? We need to get rid of the bucket. That's why I'm very proud to introduce a brand new character. This is the Bucket Destroyer. I think it'll make a wonderful new addition to the rich lore of the Stanley Parable. True, it also was not in the original game, but it's such a well-fleshed-out character with so much personality that to me, it already feels as though it's been part of the cast all along. Don't you agree?
I mean, true.
Can you guess what the Bucket Destroyer does? Surely you don't need me to spell it out for you. Go ahead now, Stanley. Say goodbye to the bucket, and then pop it into the machine when you're ready.
I'm kind of thinking what might be some with this red button here.
Listen to me. It's crucial that you give it the bucket. I don't know what the bucket destroyer will do if it can't destroy your bucket. Destroying buckets is all it knows. That is its singular personality trait. Sure, I can hear you saying, how does a character with only one personality trait deserve to join the pantheon of beloved Stanley Parable characters? Well, you see, if you were to really explore the Bucket Destroyer, you'd see that its desire to crush buckets is so densely loaded with complexity and nuance that it's really like 10 personality traits.
I was really light. I was thinking it was like the extra button.
Can you even say that about the Broom Closet? Certainly not. I wonder what sort of Bucket Destroyer merchandise the fans will be clamoring for after this. Okay, the Bucket Destroyer is getting very upset now. You'll have to hurry and feed it. We can't get back to the classic Stanley Parable characters like the Adventure Line or the Bucket Destroyer until you crush that damn bucket. Quickly now, the fans are waiting. Do it, the fans, Stanley. Give the fans what they want. Hurry and...
Oh. Oh dear. Oh dear.
The Bucket Destroyer. My prized creation. It had so much potential. We were going to do such marvelous things with you, tell such spellbinding stories about you. All of it squandered now.
Latons for the
Goodbye,
Bucket Destroyer.
new friend. For the
It's
moment
been
in
fun.
time that you were here, you were magnificent.
Sad. It was time. Alright. Alright, for real though. Alright. Well, anyway. Man. You said that was definitely something, honestly. That was an experience. Yeah, and definitely very much enjoying this game compared to the original version. And I kind of want to actually, like, you know, check out the original version just see how it, like, compares. Although I imagine there's, like, a lot of, like, stuff you see, like, in the original version that's probably still here, to be fair. So, I mean, who knows? Alright, but anyway, that's to be here today. You know, thank you all for coming along. Thank you, Dog Simulator, for the raid. Thank you guys for, you know, popping in. Definitely appreciate you guys coming along. I'm gonna be back on Saturday evening. We're gonna be playing Backbone. Actually, we're gonna it's a game that I actually. It's a game that actually, like, you know, back on Kickstarter back in like 2016, 2017, something like that. I don't remember exactly when it was, but that's the last kind of date I remember from that. But it was a while ago. But it's a game where you actually play as like a raccoon detective, so it fits me so much. So I'm looking forward to actually starting playing it. But yeah, I hope you guys are willing to you know to stop by, you know, to come back if you want to follow us, just so you know when I actually, you know, go live that day, which is to be right like at 8:30 Eastern, which is like my usual like non-late shift time. So if you're interested in you know, coming back, you can always you know, follow to get a notification when I go live. So I mean, it's up to you if you like. All right, but yeah, that's to be it for today. So we're gonna go ahead and raid out here. Ooh, okay. We pull up here. Pull up Twitch, see what's going on. God. I'm kind of looking forward to,
Remember.
Oh, no, don't do that. So let's see who's... Let's see if anybody's also playing Stanley. See what's up. Alright, so... not many people, actually. Interesting. Yeah, I think we could steal that, though. Probably not. Let's think for a second about the, like, yeah. Like, I'm thinking for a second. I want to try and decide, like, who we want to deal with here. Actually, yeah, I got an idea. Alright. So... So yeah, so we're going to read the Machimus Nacho. Yeah, I think we'll probably do that. So yeah. All right. So let me do that. Alright. Great message. Damn, I think of that though. God, I can't think of anything. You know, actually, never mind. We're not gonna do that. Yeah, so we're going to read Dead Shadow Wolf. It's I think we rated them like a good while ago. It's like back in that was like for like a Genshin shirt. I think it was for one of those. God, it's been forever since I've done it though. But yeah, so they're playing Set by Daylight. So I think here's the. God, I'm not terrible. Thinking of weird message on the spot. Yeah, well, whatever. Just go and just spam whatever inmates you like. Honestly, it's. You know, I think I'm gonna have to like get used to actually, you know, doing it anyway. So anyway, yeah, as I said, thank you all for coming along. We're gonna be back Saturday for. We're gonna start playing Backbone. So looking forward to doing that. And yeah, that's gonna be it for today. Let me switch over here. Yeah, and we will see you on Saturday night, 8:30 Eastern, 7:30 Central, and yeah, that's about it. And have a good night, everybody. Bye.
Find out about it, they're back on the center like instantly. Yeah. Oh, Coop Raccoon. That should have been a fucking hit. Oh my god.